What's up, y'all? What's happening? Haven't done one of these in a while. Allergies been terrible. They've been terrible. I want to give y'all a couple updates. Tomorrow, I plan on giving y'all some more story times for the McKinley Jones Foundational Freedmen of America series that I've been doing. Something happened to the audio, so I'm gonna have to redo the first part of that, and I'll give that to y'all tomorrow. I want to do an ASCAP sound exchange kind of go to, because remember we were talking about, did tech hurt record sales? We have proof of that. If you were an independent artist and you were making X amount of money, I always give credit to the Bay Area. They were one of the pioneers of that independent game, which they were the pioneers of that. So as opposed to getting streaming, you're getting barely pennies per stream. Whereas if you were selling a whole album, you might get $5 to $7, whatever the case may be. If you're independent, you're gonna have to invest a whole lot more. But so I seen a breakdown, and they called this thing called SEA. So we'll talk about that a little bit. Hopefully we could. I think we'll do the Ed Pearson story time. We'll do that. I want to do a review and talk about some of the technology of some of the cameras that they used in the Sinners movie, and I also want to talk about the Master P deal that the director got, that Coogler got. So I want to kind of look at that. What does it mean for new black directors? How does that affect technology? I'm trying to think of what else that I got. Let me look at my little. So I had a list of things to do. So y'all seen the HBCU AI analysis? I've done that. I'm gonna make this quick, man, because my allergies are just horrible. It is horrible. I'm trying to think of some other story times. I got a bunch of stuff, but there was this one other position that I just heard about. Oh, the Urban League is doing something in North Minneapolis again. They got the Microsoft Azure classes, Cisco, Power BI. I'm trying to figure out if they're remote. Some of them are probably going to be on site. Well, if you're in the Twin Cities area, they might have something. So I'll provide more information on that. And I might do a quick podcast session tomorrow as well. So hopefully you guys like the other one of the analysis of the brother. And I'm going to go ahead and upload this. Go ahead and this will be a real quick little digital journal. So more story times coming. Also, one more thing. I found some footage from this documentary. And remember, my second book is very, very heavy on black history. Even more so than tech almost, because I feel like we needed it. But there was a documentary called Bastards of the Party about how they said, well, a lot of black folks left the South and went to LA. There's some footage I'm going to put in this digital journal. So I'm going to add this too.
So I started really trying to search out, how did this get started? I really went to my peers, went to guys older than me. I learned about the migration to Los Angeles to find better jobs. And like I said, to escape the prejudice that was going on in the South. I met up with the guys at Edison, California Cultural Center down on Vermont and I think Western, somewhere down there. And they started explaining to me about how their generation came to LA.
Majority of the blacks was coming from the South then, and after the war, the train was called the Argonaut. It train that stopped at every little town from Mississippi, Georgia, Louisiana, and Texas. Before it got to Union Station, it was stopped by Central Avenue, and all the black people had to get off.
And they came here because they were trying to escape racism, and for economic reasons, a lot of factories were hiring. They got here, and a lot of prejudice here and racism here as far as the job markets and as far as blacks buying homes and moving into certain neighborhoods they weren't allowed to. Racism was alive and kicking right here in Los Angeles. So I'm sure they were pretty shocked about that.
LA was just clamped down on blacks and Mexicans. You were just limited.
Everybody doesn't live with rats and roaches. And everybody doesn't have to live like that. Why do we live that way? Because of the way that we were brought to this country.
We were slaves for 300 years. We was chattel property. After that, we were free, and then we were segregated.
For 400 years, black labor built the United States. All of a sudden, it's no longer needed. You know, so sorry. I mean, there's something different about being poor in LA than there is anywhere up in the world. You're right up against it. It's all there in front of you, and you can't have any of it.
You don't have to live in the projects to get swooped up in this war.
You know, we had clothes and, you know, everything we wanted, you know. I didn't come from like a poor family, not a rich family, but if I asked for something, I can get it.
So it wasn't poverty that drove you into?
Oh, hell no. It was a choice I made.